Hi, I'm Mrs McTaggart and this is lesson 2 in the higher maths circle topic. Today we are looking at the equation of a circle, formula 1 as I call it. So here is a formula here. It appears on the formula sheet, so you don't have to remember it, just have to remember to use it. So basically it's very similar to when you did quadratics. The bit in the brackets, or even your trig equations, the bit in the brackets talk about the shift, and it's always kind of the opposite of what you think. So a negative value in the bracket means it's actually moved in the positive direction of the axis, and a positive value means it's actually moved in the negative direction, or in fact up and down this time as well, because we are talking about a circle. So if we want to find the equation of a circle with centre -2, 4 and a radius of 2, we literally label our centre as AB and our r is 2, and we just plug this into the equation. So you have x minus -2 all squared plus y minus 4 all squared equals 2 squared. And just to simplify that becomes x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared, and that equals 4. And as you get more practice of these, you can probably just go straight to doing it. And remember, it is the opposite of what's on your coordinate here that goes in the bracket. +2 means it's going to -2, -4 means it's going to +4. Alright. And just a wee illustration here to show you where it comes from. The formula comes from using Pythagoras to get the radius. What you would do is to work out the radius this time, because our centre isn't on 0, 0 now. You would do, to get this little distance here, you would do x minus a squared, and to this little distance here, you would do y minus b squared. I've just used a and b now because obviously x and y is already in use. Okay, so that's my first example. Let's do another one. So this time, here's just the equation, and we're going to read off the centre and the radius. So please remember that this was your a and this was your b, but the original equation had negatives in the bracket. So the centre is -3 turns to +3. Oops, it is. And +7 turns to -7. So your shift on this circle, instead of starting at 0, 0, it has gone 3 in the positive direction and 7 in the negative direction, and that would be, that would be like where your centre of your circle would be here. So 3, -7. The radius is, and we'll call it C for centre. Our radius is just the square root of whatever this bit on the end. Remember that actually stands for r squared. So it would be the square root of 50. Surds do come into play here. So where possible, we simplify it down into 2 surds. So we'll use root 25 and root 2. So I'm going to say that the radius is simply 5 root 2. And my centre is 3, -7. Okay, here's another one. This is to find the equation of the circle. It's got a centre of -3, 2, which I'm just going to draw in the picture. And we know the point 4, 1 lies somewhere on the line. 4, 1, it's just a sketch, but 4, 1 would be about here. Okay, and we have to find the equation. So we already know the centre, right? So we know that it would be x plus 3 all squared plus y -2. Remember, it's the opposite of what signs are in the centre, all squared. But we need to find the radius, so we need to find the distance between these 2 points. So we're going to do the distance formula, but honestly the shortcut to do the distance formula is form a right angle triangle and just look at how far it is between the x coordinates. So from -3 out to 4 is a distance of 7, and from 2 to 1, or 1 to 2, is a distance of 1. So my radius is going to be r squared equals 7 squared plus 1 squared, which is 50. So r is root 50. We actually just did one like this. I'm going to leave it as root 50 just now, because when I sub this in over here, I'm going to write this as root 50 squared. And then obviously when you square a third, the root cancels out. So the final equation is x plus 3 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared, and root 50 squared out just gives you 50. So that is the equation of that circle. So the distance formula will come into play, which is essentially just a wee bit Pythagoras. Okay, question 4, wee problem solving one. I've got a few problem solving questions coming up now. It says, write down the equations of 4 circles that have a radius of 4 which touch both the x and y axes. Now that might be a wee bit hard to picture, but you're looking for 4 circles that touch both the x and y axes. So the most obvious one would start like this, and you think, okay, it's going to touch here and touch here. And it's going to have a radius of 4 that way and 4 that way. So my centre would be 4, 4. And that's just one of them. The others would appear in all these other quadrants. So I've actually got a better picture here to illustrate what's going on. So this was the first one I talked about. It would have the centre 4, 4. The one below it would have the centre for negative 4. The one over here would be negative 4, negative 4. And this one up here would be negative 4, 4. So they all going to have very similar equations because they all have a radius of 4. So if I was to label them and call this A, B, C, D, circle A would simply be x. Remember, it's the opposites that go in the bracket, so minus 4. And then minus 4 again. And that would give me 4 squared, which is 16. B, the one below it, is still y negative 4. But this one has gone down 4. So this would become y plus 4 in the bracket. Still a radius of 16. The third one in the bottom left has now gone to negative direction, so x plus 4 all squared. It has also gone down, so y plus 4 all squared. Radius of 4, so equals 16. And my last one, D, would be x negative 4 turns to plus 4. And then we have y minus 4 equals 16. So hopefully that picture made it a wee bit more obvious. A lot of the circle stuff becomes easier if you can try and illustrate what's going on. Okay, here is another problem one. It looks pretty similar to that one. It's just what we've got is we've got 4 congruent circles. Congruent just means they're identical. They're the same size. We're told that A is the point 2, 1. So down here is 2, 1. And D is the point 10, 0. So D, I'm going to write in as 10, sorry, not 10, 1, 10, 0. Yeah, I'm saying the wrong thing. It's 10, 1. We have to determine the equation of this circle up in the top coordinate. So we're going to do a wee bit of like jumping about with these numbers. So the square has got sides of 8. So that makes the radius of each of these circles, well, 2 circles have a distance of 8. So the width of each circle is 4. So the radius of each circle is 2. Alright. So the point P is actually along 2, 4, along 2, another 2, and then along another 2. So it's along 6. And then it's up 4, and then up another 2. So this has a coordinate 6, 6 for P. And we know the radius is now 2, so the equation is simply x minus 6 all squared plus y minus 6 all squared equals your radius squared. Your radius is 2, square it, you get 4. So at first it looks a bit horrendous, but it's really not. Just break it down, do a wee bit of what's called stepping out with coordinates and things like that. Okay, in my last example, we have this circle here. We're told that A is the coordinate negative 7, 3. And B is coordinate 1, 5. They want us to find the equation of this circle. So to get the equation, you need the centre and you need a radius. So to get the centre, we're going to do like the midpoint formula. So the centre would be minus 7 plus 1, halved. And then 3 plus 5, halved. So the centre of my circle is minus 7 plus 1 is minus 6, half it is minus 3. 3 plus 5 is 8, half it is 4. So this point here is negative 3, 4. We then need to find the radius, so I'm just going to do a bit of Pythagoras and step it out from here to get the radius. From negative 7 to negative 3 is a distance of 4 that way. From 3 to 4 is a distance of 1 that way. So my radius is going to be radius squared equals 4 squared plus 1 squared. So my radius squared is 17. So r is the square root of 17. So when I do my equation, this plug in the centre, minus 3, 4. So opposite minus 3 becomes plus 3. Opposite of positive 4 becomes minus 4. And remember this end bit I'm meant to plug in is r squared. So it's just actually going to go back to this line here. R squared is 17. And that is the equation of the circle. And that is me done. I hope you find this okay. This is the easier of the two formulas in my opinion. But remember, the good thing is it's always in the formula sheet. You just need to know how to manipulate it and use it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.